Good morning and welcome to Moopsy in the Morning for January the 27th, 2025. I'm here with Chris.
Hi.
Hello. For those of you who are in the Strike Group Discord, Pi added a new channel here called Movie Series Talk, where if you want to talk about movies, Star Trek series, you can. Only rule is if you're going to do spoilers, make sure you tag it with spoilers. So if somebody doesn't want to know yet, they don't have to know. But I know a lot of us want to talk about Section 31, but not everybody's seen it. So we're doing and remember, nope, can't talk about that one. And I've been writing my review for the Today in Trek series, and I meant
you're going to do a review for it.
Yeah, I've thought, it's nice doing all the daily stuff, but I thought, what about if we do like a once a week deep dive into an episode or some historical thing or a person who is significant in Trek, and, do the whole show on that. So I'm changing the format a little bit just because I was spending about 13 to 20 hours a week just doing the research and production.
Yeah.
And that's fine if I'm making money doing it, but I'm not making money doing it, and I've got two projects where I could make some money, so we will move that to a twice a week type thing, one being the weekend Trek and the other one being the Trek deep dive. But yeah, I'm writing this out. I'm like 9 pages into the review, which is ridiculously long. But WC was going to just write the whole thing out and then go back, think about it overnight, and edit it to make it say what you want to. Because at this point, I'm just breaking it down scene by scene, and there's no reason.
It's better to have more material and then cut it with the relevant stuff rather than just not have enough and making a video that lasts 3 minutes because I've run out of material to say.
Yeah. There was a movie reviewer, I think it was Movie Bob, who I didn't agree with his politics, but I agreed with a lot of his reviews because a lot of times he would review a movie and give it a positive or a fairly positive thing and tell you what works and what didn't work in the movie, and the information would be good enough that you could judge whether to go see it or not. And his review of Pacific Rim was, this movie's out, you should go see it, really go right now. And then that's the end of the review. And of course then he comes back a few minutes later and finishes up the review, but it was just that overwhelmingly positive 3 sentences, go see the movie.
I mean, I think it would work on me.
Well, still is my favorite movie, and maybe it's now my second favorite movie because, I'm sorry, but you put giant robots and kaiju together. Sexy.
What's it called? Pacific Rim?
Pacific Rim. Yeah, not Pacific Rim 2. You can ignore that one because it's meh. But Pacific Rim.
I know it has a sequel.
Yeah, it does. I'm sorry to say that. There's a couple of good things.
Yeah.
Pacific Rim 2 has 1 or 2 good moments, where Pacific Rim 1 is a movie where you have to figure out what you're going to eat and drink based on the fact that there's no time in the movie that it's down long enough for you to go to the bathroom and back. Most movies, they've got that moment when you've got 3 or 4 kind of down minutes when there's a lot of backstory coming up, there's a lot of dialogue, and you can run to the bathroom and back. In Pacific Rim, it really doesn't happen. The directing and editing was very, very tight to just keep the pace going.
That's a 2013 film, right?
Yeah, it's old.
The original one.
Mm-hmm. So when you come in my house and you turn to the main room, you'll see it's all decorated with Star Trek stuff. If you turn to the right, you start going up the stairs, and that's all decorated with Pacific Rim stuff. Currently, my bedroom's the only other room that's got artwork up, and that's 99% family photographs and 1% Deadpool.
Right.
So, yeah, gotta have some fun. I was thinking about buying myself some posters and putting them up, but don't have a ton of room. It's really interesting. For a house that's actually larger than my old house, there is not a lot of wall space for putting up artwork. And one thing I have is artwork. Tons of it. So much artwork. Sorry, I'm killing some Nimbosian kidnappers here.
Reading the cast for it.
Charlie Hunnam plays Raleigh Beckett. Mako Mori is Keiko
I don't know most of these names.
Yeah.
Roll Perlman, Idris
You
Elba.
you know Ron Perlman. You know Idris Elba. You know
Yeah,
Clifton
these I
Collins.
know.
Yeah, Clifton Collins Jr. You know him, even if you don't know, you know him. Um,
Okay.
the guy who plays Hercules, Max Martini. You know him, but you don't know you know him. He is in a bajillion movies, but he's kind of like Carl Urban, and you don't realize it's Carl Urban till you see his name on the credits, and you go, "Huh, he was in that movie." Because he's,
No, I do recognize him. I actually recognize Carl Urban in most of the stuff.
for me, so much of the time, he's just so much the character that I don't put him together with the face until I see the credits, and then it's like, dang, he's good.
I mean, I didn't want to say it in a bad way, but I just have that recognition thing.
Mm.
I recognize actors more time than I don't.
My husband was the same way. He could see a face and go, "Oh, that's so and so from such and such." And I'd be
Yeah.
like, "No, no. Oh yeah, I guess it
If
is."
I know the actor, I will most likely pinpoint him. Yeah, I do have that. I think it's ADHD pattern recognition thing.
Is it? Be interesting.
Which is like I will recognize a pattern. That's why I don't watch a lot of popular movies because I will probably figure
Figure
out
it out.
the
Yeah.
story before the 20 minutes are in, and I'm like, why am I wasting time watching
Yeah.
it if I really know it's just gonna end?
So I
Or
was
like Who Killed
watching.
always like
I was watching the movie Hunt for Red October once with my
yeah.
husband. The first time I saw it, we're about 35 minutes in, and I'm like, "Oh, I know what's going to happen." And he's like, "No, you don't." And I said, "Blah blah 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 blah." He goes, "Oh my God, that is what's going to happen." And it's not pattern recognition. It was just like, "Oh, I understand this. I know where we're going." And
Good
he had read the
age,
book, so he truly
1980.
did not appreciate that I figured it out so quickly.
Hmm. What did you do?
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Shirley Hunnam. Hmm.
Charlie
They
Hunnam. He was
were?
in. He was in
He
Sons
was
of
considered
Anarchy.
for Anakin Skywalker for Attack of the Clones and Return, no, Revenge of the Sith. Interesting. He was supposed to be the same role that Hayden Christensen had, basically.
Huh. He's been
And
in
then,
quite a bit of stuff.
oh, okay, interesting. I honestly have not seen a lot of the stuff that he's been in.
Rinko Kikuchi, that's the woman who plays the female lead.
Cold Mountain.
And of course,
Children of
Idris
Men.
Elba
Oh yeah, I've
is...
seen.
Idris Elba starring as Idris Elba.
Yeah, Idris Elba. I love Idris Elba.
Yeah, me too.
And it's funny because like I wouldn't probably assign him to being. If I didn't hear him, I would have thought it's a white British guy. But Jesus, his accent is just so
Yeah.
sexy. I even had a blast having him in Zootopia at Disney.
Oh, was he really? I did not know
You
that.
didn't know he was there?
No. Uh,
Did you watch Zootopia?
vaguely. You know, it was on, and I was kind of watching it, and I didn't pick up the voice. Which is like, okay, you've seen Section 31?
Me, I did. Yeah.
Okay, so folks, I'm going to do a spoiler
I
right
did.
here. If you haven't seen Section 31, put your hands over your ears or take off your headsets. And we're going to talk about one thing. And it's not a huge spoiler, but it is a spoiler. So, you know, the little interstitials where the voice comes on and tells you what Section 31 is going to do? I hadn't put the voice together with who it is until after I had seen the end, and I'm like, dang, and went back and watched it again. I'm like, yep, that's definitely her.
Oh, I didn't actually pick that up.
Yeah, neither did
But
I. But then when you go back and you know who is the head of Section 31, it's like, okay,
I
yep,
don't think she's the head. I think she's just their handler. She's giving them assignments.
she's, quote,
Unless she's
control.
credited.
Is she credited? They didn't run the credits when I watched it.
Well,
Because it's
I don't
Paramount
think
Plus
I've
and they
actually
edit
had
out
them.
all the credits.
Yeah. I don't know. But Control is. I still don't like that Section 31 is still using that naming though.
Yeah, a poor choice of name.
Considering everything, I think it should be called something different, like Central. It would make more sense. Central thinks this is that, this is this. Like, Control should be forbidden word in
Yeah,
Federation
yeah,
entirely.
absolutely. That would be my thought.
I was really surprised that they. I was like, Control. Wait, did they survive? Like for the first moment, I was like, no. When I saw a trailer, or teaser, and she was like, no, it can't be it. I thought it was Control. I thought her first, George's first reaction to what they're actually going after,
Hmm.
and she said, I thought I had it destroyed. I thought she was talking about Control, and I'm like, no, let's not go back there.
Yeah, no, no, no.
Glad he
Um,
wasn't it, but still, it was like, nah, Control shouldn't be in there. They shouldn't be even mentioned. They should still not use it as a naming frame for anything anymore. Just
yeah,
because it
it
almost
it's gonna come back to
cost.
that control reference, and it's a poor choice.
Yeah, it's for people who know. It's gonna sound icky, and people who don't know Star Trek Discovery, they probably want what Section 31.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that's how I started out the review with a moan and groan about the fact that they use title cards a lot. The first one being the Terran Empire, and I'm thinking, if you know Star Trek, you already know it's the Terran Empire. If you don't know Star Trek, it wouldn't help you.
Yeah, it's not gonna help you. Terran Empire, like a lot of, like I've just
Priority clearance
watched
recognition, Alpha 1.
I watched yesterday Doctor Strange and the
Let
Multiverse of
me interrupt you for
Madness.
1 second. Pi, thank you so much for 5.5 years of subscribing. We are not getting old. We're getting,
Getting old, we're growing up.
yes, we're
Constantly
maturing
growing
like
up.
fine wine. And
It's just
Pi
growing
hasn't,
up, just from a teenager.
and I know
We
Pi
don't even
hasn't
need
seen the movie
teenager.
yet, so we're gonna stop with this spoiler. So no more spoilers, but we'll talk about the movie if we want to.
Yeah, so I was like watching, because I kind of started watching it because I've been playing the Marvel Rivals game, and I don't know most of the characters, so I was like, well, that's the next best thing to make me more familiar with the characters, right? So I was just like, I'm gonna watch it. And I was watching Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness just because I wanted to see more of Scarlet Witch. Elizabeth Olsen, I love you. Um, I think she's doing an amazing job, even though the movies are pretty much shallow, but her input into those movies is really great. But what I was going to say is that when they said the Terran
Hmm.
doesn't actually invoke. If you're not invested in Star Trek, it's just going to refer to Earth,
Right.
because even Marvel refers to like Terran Homeworld or like Terran
Well,
Homeland
that
Defense.
the only thing that gives it away is Terran Empire.
Yeah, Terran Empire is the thing. It's like, yeah, but yeah, that's confusing. That might be confusing for people who are not familiar. But over for everyone else, if someone says you're Terran,
Hmm.
if you're not in Star Trek, invested in Star Trek, you will not know what that means,
Yeah.
because Terra is Earth.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm still puzzled why they went with to Terra instead of like Mirror Universe. But I guess Terrans refer to themselves as Terrans.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We can't control how they think about themselves. So there's a thing, and I promise we won't do this too long because we got things to go shoot. There's a approach to writing and to movies called show don't tell. That is, to
yeah,
the most extent possible, if you can get a person engaged in the movie by having characters discuss what has gone on, um, and through their normal talking, do some background revelations, exposition is what's called, rather than writing it down that this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. That's usually a great start to a story if you're in 6th grade.
yeah,
Using those interstitial cards and cue cards and placards and stuff popping up is definitely what I like to think of as a 6th grade approach. Good morning, Skeptic Taco Batman. It's a 6th grade approach to how you write a story and move from one place to another. You don't have to do it. You can do it through your visuals, and you can do it through the conversation that your people are having.
yeah. That's what I'm going for when
Hmm.
I'm writing.
Yeah.
You could do the Tolkien like that. Once upon a time, this happened, all this happened, and then they did this, and 13 chapters later, like moving on to present times, and I'm
Yes.
like, who is gonna live through this? Like, people will want to commit a suicide before they actually commit to the part when it's current time. So like, go away with that kind of descriptive
Yeah. I mean, if
methodology.
you can write that kind of stuff and make it engaging, perfect.
I
it's
Even
rare
Bible
that you
didn't
can't.
manage,
But
and they were trying not to be too descriptive. I don't think it's doable in the long run. If you're creating too much stuff, it's just going to bore people out. They're going to start skipping.
yeah,
They're just
like I
going to
said,
start
unless you're
skipping
just one of
chapters.
those writers who can absolutely put that together, and there are good writers, Tolkien
There are
being.
a few exceptions, but overall, I think it's just better to throw an idea. It's not difficult to give you a sense of what we're dealing with in terms of like an environment without going like into descriptive, like 13-inch wide this,
Yeah,
20-inch this. I'm like, no, no, 3 feet this, no, that you don't need to be that precise. I mean, you can be, but you can use the words like rather large cabinet or something like it, and that's going to
yeah,
be enough. People will have a approximation in their imagination, and give people their imagination the ability to actually work. If you give them, it's for me, it's a lot harder to imagine like 13-inch monitor than to imagine like there's a large monitor on the desk because large monitor will just take a portion of the desk, right?
yeah.
If someone tells me exact number of inches, I mean, I'm not even sticking onto the inches. Centimeters is easy, is the same thing. I can't imagine something by the size that is so precise.
Mm-hmm.
It's just easy for me to see like there was a huge tree. There
Yes,
was a huge
and
branching, like old branching tree. I already see it in my head without having like too much descriptions about how what was the width of his top, what was the thickness of the base. Like that's not necessary for me
yeah,
to actually
and that's
picture
one
it.
thing when I'm editing stories is I have one writer in particular who loves to go into excruciating detail that he was
Yeah.
202 centimeters tall, and I'm like, oh my god, you don't have to say that. You can just
I
say he was
know.
tall. Well, he's not as tall as the other
Yeah.
guy. Okay, he was a little bit
If
shorter
if
than
you
Joe.
want to go descriptive or very elaborate, you can do like it was a monumental chamber.
Yeah,
And it made them feel like they were ants. That just works. That just gives you an idea.
Joe
If you're too
was.
precise, you're just
See,
killing the imaginations. All work is done for you, and that's
and
just
you
not
can
fun.
engage into a little bit about the character while you're doing it. So, i.e., Joe always considered himself a tall man, but he had to look up to see Sam's eyes, to look into
Yeah,
Sam's eyes. You know, there now we
yeah.
got some perspective. One, we told a
You
little bit
don't have
about the
to say like he
character.
was a head higher,
Yeah,
like head taller.
yeah.
There's so many ways to actually do that right.
And if you're gonna do it, you need to do it for a reason.
Yeah.
So obviously I do some fanfic, and there's one thing where I had Jean-Luc and Beverly talking to each other, and the thing that always got me is when these two are on a screen together, they are the same height. So how do you say that without saying they're the same height? They look directly into each other's eyes. Or
Right.
yeah, okay, we got two people who are roughly the same height now.
Mm.
Or if you want to say people are the same size, hey, can I borrow your shirt? I think it'd fit me. Okay, fine. Get two people
Yeah.
about the same size, or the other person
Yeah.
goes, not a chance, you'd rip the seams.
Yeah, yeah. There are ways to like work around it without being too blunt about it.
Yeah, yeah.
But by the way, speaking about
Today
Jesus,
on Writers Forum,
I don't know what's wrong, but I think I have a frog in my throat since yesterday
I
evening.
know. Yeah, no,
I don't know where that came from, but I was talking about Doctor Strange. Did you know who had a cameo in that Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness?
maybe I've seen it. Can't place it though. Who?
Uh, Patrick Stewart.
N- As Professor X, though, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that.
I was like, wait. When they started rolling in the chair and they didn't show the face in the show, I was
Right, right,
like,
right, right. Yeah,
no,
yeah. Now you're right. I remember it.
you didn't. And then is he's there? They use his voice. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, that's so
He did the
nice.
cameo for it. You're right. A couple others did, but I hadn't remembered that till you mentioned it just now.
That was such a heartwarming moment. They kind of like brought him in and well, there was a multiverse version of the universe 818 or something, and they were just like
Right,
having
right.
Illuminati
Yes.
rather than the Avengers, and I was like, oh, I love that kind of thing, like playing the twist, like how things unfold and how people ally together, like Peggy Carter becoming the Captain America. That was such a great twist. I didn't see that coming. I loved it.
I gotta say, most of that movie was.
It
and
wasn't amazing, but it had its
it
moments,
had its
and
moments,
I
absolutely.
really like the moment where America pushes Scarlet Witch, which is who's kind of like the villain of the movie.
Hmm.
They push her. They push her. She pushes her out into the dimension when she has her twins,
Hmm.
and they see her almost killing. Kind of like, and then she sees the horror in the faces at that she's a monster. Really, they don't
Oh
know
yeah.
it. She looks like their mom, but she's clearly a stranger. And they're terrified of her, and when she sees that, it snaps her out of the demonic possession that Darkhold was holding over her. I love that moment when she realized that I wouldn't hurt anyone, and then that there's that back slap in the back of your head, like you just did.
Yeah.
You just hurt a lot of people,
Well,
and that realization when it kicks in, that was such a well. It was well. I was surprised that Marvel managed to pull off a scene that had this emotional charge that could be very melancholic and very dramatic, but they really held it together, and Elizabeth Olsen just did her job so well. I did love that scene, and I think it resonated with me the most, I think, with the movie. It was kind of a shame that they didn't give any post-credit scene like she's making amends or something like it. They just said that,
yeah.
oh, she erased the Darkhold in every universe. Like, but how? Um, but that wasn't never mentioned, and there was not even a post scene when she's like talking to Doctor Strange. Like, yeah, she's trying to fix things. Like, she could at least be helping. I don't know, rebuild the monastery for those guys. And I think she did nothing. She's not mentioned. She was just used to be the villain, but it was all about Doctor Strange again.
Well, it's supposed to be about Doctor Strange is the problem. I went to
Yeah,
see a
I
Doctor
know.
Strange movie and I
But
got
if you
a
don't
what
wrap up all
movie?
these side characters, it just you want to know about them. If you don't wrap it up, that's my biggest issue, that they didn't wrap up a lot of stuff about it. I don't even know who America becomes. Like, is she an acolyte of their
Oh
team
yeah,
of
no.
wizards or something like it? I mean, she is treated as such, but does she have any powers outside of traveling in between dimensions? There's no mention of what she is. Like,
And that's
they just
because they
shake
kept
hands and
rewriting the
wave
story,
goodbye.
trying to figure out what they were going to do because it wasn't working.
Yeah. I've been actually struggling with writing a scene for my. I mean, I already had it written down, but then I started to think about the logic of it.
Yep.
I'm like, wait, and how would he know that?
Yeah. Okay. So, huge problem. We should probably shoot some stuff, but that is a huge problem. How do people know what's going on in a story? And sometimes the only way they know what's going on is because they read the script. But if you go
Right.
into the internal logic of the story, it's not there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not there. That's the thing. I have a scene. I'm not worried about spoilers because I don't think anyone here is going to read
Who's
it
here? There's
anyway.
four
But
people here. We're going to do spoilers again. Attention!
yeah, for
Spoiler alert!
for
Spoiler
my story, I
alert!
was just exploring the concept of what will happen if entities that our ancient ancestors identified as gods actually existed, but
Oh
they
yeah.
weren't gods, the creators of the world, but
Hmm.
they were just there. My concept is that they came from a different universe, that they were kind of forced in here, and our rules of our universe forced them to be a separate entity from one super being to myriads of smaller beings that associated themselves with elemental forces. That's why they've been known to be like, this one is the god of this one is the god of that, because they've been seen around these particular elements, and their power is manifested through certain symbols. And I'm like, yeah, what would happen if you, I don't know, brought one back from, I don't know, slumber, whatever, and they would be like, wait, this is wrong. I wasn't the god of evil. Like, why am I being associated with that? Because people associate stuff to gods
Yep. Yep.
all the time. Like, some gods fall out of, in the mythology, they fall out of favor
Yeah.
because, like, in Egypt, that was very common when
Hmm.
priests were just fighting for control over regions they were patroning over. And it would end up like, yeah, we don't like you, Seth, so you're gonna be now the god of chaos. Even though initially he was like the protector of the sun god Ra. So I was wondering, like, how do you rationalize something like that to assign someone who has a scientific mind? Because I have a scene where I need to. There is an archaeologist who's doing his job. Like, he's researching stuff, and he's about to uncover a place which is supposed to be undisturbed. You know the trope.
Hmm.
Um, aside of that, he's being manipulated by someone who actually wants stuff to come out into the world again. But the problem is, how do I convince him to like? How does one approach him to actually stop? What is the feasible way? If he has an uber scientific mind, someone who just believes in facts, historical stuff that he can prove. How do you approach someone and tell him don't do this because it's going to cost us everything?
That's where your whole story lies.
Well, that's the thing. That's not that's the story lies. That's the thing because it's supposed to happen anyway. But how do you initially approach him and try to convince him like you really shouldn't do that?
Well, like I said, for me, that's where the story would be, or at least part of the story would be in how you're going to do that. And there are enough stories that begin with the focus on we have a situation, how do we approach it? And for me, that's a great way to start a story. It gets you involved in it. It doesn't mean that that's necessarily your story. Let's shoot something. Do you have anything you need to do? Because I have disrupt your damage.
I've got gain salvage, do phaser damage in space, and do plasma damage in space. So I don't have anything in particular we can do whatever.
Guillotine?
You read my mind. Yes, please.
Gee, well, it's long enough that you can get multiple damages going.
Yeah, my build will just do me phaser for now, but that's fine.
You can throw on.
I can swap ships and pew with a different type of weapon.
Oh, double pews. Let's see what we got going here. What is today? We have defeated bioengineered Viviosaurus Rex or whatever that is, Virosaurus Rex.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah,
I hate
so
that thing.
Well, if
That's
you get
what
a
the
chance,
main
go down there
endeavor-
and spawn camp right
Oh,
as
I don't wanna.
right as soon as you get off work.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm not bothering. Last time I tried to do it, I was surpassed by. I didn't even get to get any significant damage in for me to count, because people were just spawning at it. Spewing.
Last
I was
time-
like, nah.
Last time
I was
we
waiting for
did
15
it,
minutes
I think
there.
we did it at night, and we had like a third of the map that we just took over, and some
Yeah.
of us would run around. The other guys would just sit there. Everybody
Yeah,
sit there.
and whenever it is there, just
Yeah.
warn everyone.
We will.
No, there's a wee bit.
Yeah, don't go off and try and make this go faster. We'll take care of that. You guys just go wait, and then we'll alternate. Then once one or two of them get it, they go off and help the map, and the other guys sit there.
I was
So-
telling you the other day, I actually had a great run on the Days of Doom,
Oh,
which was a very big surprise because I usually
Yeah.
run into those. We don't know what we're doing, so we're gonna sit here for the next
actually,
40
it was
minutes.
just consistently good responses from people. I didn't do it. I didn't even do my dailies this weekend. I had a busy weekend. Yeah,
Mhm.
to the extent that the dog is sleeping here on the floor. She has gotten up, eaten her breakfast, gone outside, and promptly went back to bed. I don't know if she's not feeling well, but I don't think she's got a fever. But she doesn't not want to get up. She is just done with it.
Yeah, my fluffer's been lately like this in the mornings. Like he's just not very interested in eating. I mean, he will eat in like an hour or so.
No, these guys like to
What-
get up and have their breakfast, but it's mostly because if I feed them at 5 in the morning, they want to have dinner at 5 at night, which is kind of early, and then they get really hungry overnight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she's been a little sick on our walk, so I'll kind of let her take it easy today.
Okay,
She
this is the
hasn't been
first
sick
time I'm
this
actually
time.
giving a close up for this ship. Hydra, is it?
Oh, are you running the Hydra?
No, I'm just looking at it
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's in the match with us.
It is an interesting ship.
I still prefer the Prometheus. I mean, the look. This one just doesn't do anything for me. I mean, it's funny because the bottom hull of the Hydra is still Prometheus 1-to-1. Now the rest of it, yeah. I mean, it's Odyssey, I would say. It received the Odyssey treatment, but the phaser strips are looking so thick. I don't know. I don't like it.
I wish this briefing was shorter.
Oh yeah, the briefing is abysmally long. Wait, what's that on the spine? Oh, I can't get closer. Probably one of the few ships that has the Terran version from the bundle that I don't have. because I didn't buy the bundle, I just bought individual ships.
Yeah, I've been thinking about buying some toys for myself, but
Very curious, what's the new bundle gonna look like?
well, there's some chatter about it, but
I mean, definitely Arc Royale is gonna be part of it. Because
yeah, it
it's
is.
already been hinted. But I'm wondering if there's gonna be like 3 ships that look the same, or will it be this one
I
and 2
think it's
different that will look completely different? There will be different classes. I'm curious where they derive them. I think Arc Royale is another game from another game. Ship that was from like beta canon that was. I think it's supposed to be like in the motion picture era kind of thing. So it's gonna be like the legendary Akira. There's this graphic designer, animator, I think he's moved to Blue Skies as well, but he's been on Twitter initially and he has a great YouTube channel. Howie Day,
oh, I've never heard of it.
if you've heard of him. He's doing amazing animations and he's done, I think it was the Shangri-La, the one that the Crows came with before they actually took it as a template base for the Titan in Picard. Shangri-La is pretty much the same looking ship as the Titan, except it's smaller a little bit. And he's done an animation in like the motion picture era aesthetic, fighting some sort of Klingon or Romulan ship, I don't know, but the close-ups of the ship, like I don't know how he's doing that. That's high quality, high AAA budget, class quality animation he's doing, and he's doing it all alone, like some sort of program. It's just doing amazing. Like you can see people walking inside the decks, and you see red alert brightening the corridors inside. I'm like mind boggled of the quality of it, and I've seen like he's been showcasing the progression of the results of the rendering of the animation. Sometimes there are close shots like from directly like almost next to the hull, looking at the emitters, the phaser emitters, the pulse emitters that are firing at the enemy ship, and sometimes they're like flyby. They're not very long sequences, but good god that they look so good. I can actually post that in chat later, man. It's just annoying as simulator trying to track you. Oh, did you die? Oh.
Yeah, I was a little too close to a sphere.
Flying?
Just a smidgen too close. This is in a Somerville.
Again,
Again, I'm just leveling it, so I'm not doing anything. And trying to get some disruptor damage while I'm at it. What was I doing? I was on number 2 there. There we go. At least I respawn near it.
I'm gonna maybe help because I see a lot of adapters.
Yep.
Trying to suck it off. Go away.
So to speak, yes.
I know. I always thought like, I know the tachyon beam isn't exactly a siphon, but it still looks like the spheres are just like mosquitoes sucking blood out of you. It's just like this is their tube. The blue beam is their tube, and then it's just like, here are your shields. Goodbye. I ate all of it. I'm like, okay, I don't like you, mosquito.
And I died again. I'm taking damage. Heals.
I was nearby. Why'd you die?
I didn't mean to die. It wasn't my intention to die. It just happened.
Well,
At least I had a heal with me.
You still did. Come on.
I'm about 2/3 of the way through my hull heal and through my disruptor damage.
Well, I've done my phaser, so next one is the plasma.
I've got one disruptor on here.
Should I take the Shrike or should I take the Juggernaut?
Ooh, they're both
the Viridian Juggernaut. I like the Shrike. He's such a force to be reckoned with. Just looks like a menacing thing.
Well,
It's surprising that, considering the low budgeting restrictions for Picard, the third season looks so good. Like they've done amazing stuff in post.
Well, as they put it, when you've got almost no money to play with, you have to figure out what's the most important, how to get your biggest bang for the buck.
Yeah.
And I
Plus, I think they
chose
got
well.
the best people for it. I think they couldn't have done it better
Well, I think
with the money they had.
I don't know if I was talking with you about this or if I was talking with
Yeah.
Kai about it, but things like they wanted to make the carpet as close to the original on the bridge as
I know.
possible.
Yeah. I can remember Liz Klotchkowski, who was like one of the producers on it.
Yep.
She was very adamant about the carpet and
Yeah, so they were
putting
able
out
to
signs not to bring
afford
any fluids onto the set.
just enough to get the bridge covered.
Yeah.
And she was like, don't, whatever you do, do not mess this up, because we can't
Yeah.
afford to replace it.
Yeah, if they can't afford, they couldn't. Like, I'm glad it's preserved though. That the set. I mean,
Yeah.
it reminds me Stargate Universe's set, which is also preserved. Stargate Universe was such a brilliant idea. I know I'm talking about a lot of it, but I'm still salty that they cancelled it after 2 seasons. When it was just getting good, the second season was just so good. It was like, no, Sci-Fi's just moved it to a later slot. The management of MGM changed, and they didn't understand and like science fiction. So it's like, yeah, we're cutting this down because it's not getting money.
Okay, with respect, I think that's the biggest issue with Section 31, and this is not a spoiler. I don't think they
What
got it.
is?
I don't think people who are in charge of making movies get that science fiction is not pew-pew spaceships.
I mean, it can be, but it has to be balanced with something else.
It is not
pew-pew
spaceships.
Slowly, I mean, it can have pew-pew spaceships.
Yes, that's it.
It
can have it, but it is.
It has to be a good, decent story attached to it. Otherwise, it's just
Yeah, I
a
mean,
shallow shell of
right.
a film. It lacks the substance. It's like,
A Western is
let's
not
have
a
mac and cheese,
gunfight.
but it's just going to be macaroni. It's like, yeah, you love the cheese, but you're not going to get it because it's not there. And you might love the pasta, but alone it's just like plain pasta. Whatever. It misses this essential ingredient, which is the story. That's what I love about science fiction fantasy stuff, is that because it can tell stories that normal drama cannot tell. Because realistic dramas that are happening in reality, our reality, are restrained with, well, reality. The limitations of our reality, basically. I still remember that the shows that resonated with me as a kid were always like an imagining what if. So like, I remember a TV series that was co-produced by Australian National Television and our Polish National Television back in the mid-90s. And the whole thing is on YouTube. I don't think it's even legally on YouTube because there's no distribution and ownership over those anyway. But there was this series I was watching as a kid, which was called The Spellbinder.
Okay. Sounds kind of familiar, but I could be thinking of something else.
Well, it had 2 seasons. The second was terrible. The first one is amazing.
We call that Netflixing these days.
Yeah, but that was in the mid-90s when no one had been heard about Netflix.
Right, well, that's what I said to call it Netflixing these days.
Yeah, but the premise was a group of Australian kids are having a science camp somewhere in like middle of nowhere in Australia, and there are 2 prankster dudes who are just gonna be preparing pranks to scare the girls because they're in this age when they think it's funny. And a prank goes wrong when they put a wire near some sort of high power voltage transfer station. And it glitches some sort of energy, like, alignment of sorts. Because the place is supposed to be magnetically charged in some way.
Okay.
And it creates some sort of surge and opens a portal into an alternate dimension. Where people live like in the medieval times, but they have rudimentary knowledge that feels like, well, it's the land of spellbinders. So there is a group of people who hold power because they have technology. They have power over other people, and other people are like, you know, common folks who are just working the land basically. They live like in mid, I don't know, 11th century or something like it.
By the way, good morning, Taz.
Good morning.
Hi, Taz. Well, these spellbinders have spaceships that allow them, not spaceships, ships that allow them to fly, but they're using electromagnetic power, so not anti-gravity or propulsion, but like pushing away from the geosphere of the Earth.
Okay.
So it looked amazing. They had these amazing power suits that allow them to shoot electromagnetic power that overwhelmed people and that gave them control. But it turned out that one of the boys got stranded there, and he has a camera in his backpack, a Walkman, and he's terrifying to all the folk. And he's trying to get home, and it's really difficult. And the whole premise is about the guys home start to realize that he's missing probably through some sort of weird means, but no one believes them. And he's trying to convince everyone to that he's coming from a parallel world. He's not a demon.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah. But the premise was so enticing because the interactions and relationships between the characters he meets along the way. Some are evil, some are good. So well developed. It's like, how do you manage in a situation like this? It's just like about creating an unusual kind of drama by introducing some supernatural element. But he was still running against people. They just weren't taught about science, and they were forbidden to learn science. So he was explaining things to them, opening their eyes in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good thing, because it was actually underlyingly telling that education isn't that bad, but it wasn't so blunt in your face.
Yeah, there is that.
Because he was like, yeah, he knows the formula for gunpowder because he was using it to prank the girls. Not because he learned it at school, but it still proves to be useful to defend himself against the evil spellbinders that are trying to use his ability and his world probably to their own ends. So in the end, it was very nicely subverted. The educational value, the positive message was kind of like well hidden, so it's not that blunt in your face like they do it these days.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so fun and being engaged in the story and the characters, and it was done by really great characters too. So, I mean, acting was really great. And yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's lacking these days. Like, yeah, I felt like watching Section 31 left nothing in me. It didn't leave me anything to think about.
There is a story called The Flying Sorcerers.
Oh?
It's a book. Oh, it's got to be 40 years old now. And the premise is that there is a scientist who gets stranded on a undeveloped non-human world, and he winds up hundreds of miles from where his starship has crashed. Or maybe not crashed, but has landed. And the whole thing is he needs to figure out how to get back there. And he has to interact with the people of this culture. And
that are completely alien to him.
Yeah, but it's done in a somewhat lighthearted yet serious way, and it's told from the point of view of the aliens who live there.
Oh, that's a nice twist.
Yeah, but it's not
I
painfully...
like
I mean, it's good, it's scientific, it gets the concepts across, but yeah, it's completely from their point of view and quite enjoyable.
Yeah.
But it deals with a lot of these same issues of, trying to expound on education or how important scientific discovery can be, etc., etc. But not from we're going to teach this to you. It's really from the other side. And
it isn't like hammering the point of view into your head bluntly. It's just like trying to give you the lesson without telling you it's giving you a lesson, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And since it's told from their point of view, you get to see the resistance to ideas and change and why they don't like it, and then eventually why they embrace some, but perhaps not all, because we leave it. When the astronaut goes back. So the name of the astronaut doesn't translate very well. He's got a translator of sorts, and it comes out as a color, or as a shade of purple, or like a shade of purple. And it took me a while to figure that one out. It's as a mauve. So it's a take on Isaac Asimov. Fairly clever how he's putting these things in, but if you don't sit there and go, I like a shade of purple, what the heck? Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. How are you doing, Taz?
Tired.
Oh, I'm sorry. What were you
Tired.
doing?
I started War for Our Bus last night.
A what?
A War from the Abyss. It's a Warhammer 40k book.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
I sent Taz a picture of my library, part of my library. And so behind that wall where those books are, there's another little tiny room. It's filled with books, still in boxes.
Well,
It's like a secret room.
It is a secret room. I actually bought the house
I
in huge
love
part because it's
secret
got a
rooms.
secret room.
Oh, I love secret rooms.
And they set this up to be a little kid's secret room play area with a little mini door there. And I thought, oh, I'm going to turn it into a little secret dog play room. And both my dogs are like, nope, nope.
Oh,
Dogs hate it.
Cool.
So I'm going to turn it in. Well, I'm going to turn it into something. I'm not sure it's going to work because the proportions aren't quite there. But I have a thought.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this. You know how space wolves have fangs?
Yeah.
Yeah. The space wolf they have on this crew, his fang has grown a little bit together. So they look like chipmunk teeth.
Okay.
And we have this ultra badass space wolf that looks like Alvin the Chipmunk.
Oh, no.
And I'm really trying to take him serious and not create an Alvin the Chipmunk voice for him.
Yeah, see, God, no. Now you're going to ruin that for me. Thanks.
Found it.
Let me see.
It's ship porn. Be advised, it's ship porn. It's the most beautiful scene from not a movie, not a series, just done by a dude who knows how to do animation, and it looks.
He
like
did
it's
this?
from a movie. Yeah.
Wow.
I had my mind blown. Like I can't believe how good this looks. Like you see the phaser, the emitters move around as they're targeting.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You see the
This
impulse engines firing up to rotate the ship.
Pictures, where?
This
he
is a
put the
video.
link. It's in.
It's in the stream chat as well. I put it there
It's
as well.
really short. Nicely
15
done.
seconds, like 30
Lay.
seconds.
Oh, it's like 10 seconds.
Yeah. But like it looks really great.
Ooh!
Folks, if you are in
Howard
stream
Day.
chat, copy that over. That is really
That is
nice.
gold. Like I would pay good money to have this done into a movie. Like this looks so good. Like, everything about it. You see the inside of the ship. You see the inside the windows.
Yeah,
You
I had to switch it to 4K and put it on YouTube.
Yeah, 4K.
Oh my god!
I know.
Oh!
I think Taz has orgasm. Can't
Yeah.
blame you though. It's a beautiful scene. I've been rewatching it for like an hour after he published it the first time. I'm like, Jesus, that's so good. But someone pay him money to make a movie. God, I just can't
Did
believe.
you see it? Did you see how the shield absorbed the shots? It was like, oh my god!
I know.
It's like a bubble of water around the ship, and as it impacts, it's like, whoa!
I don't think we've seen that kind of quality in
That's
a
really,
long time. In
really
Star Trek.
stunning.
Like even the explosion on the nacelle, like what the hell? This looks
No,
like it was
that's
done in the...
lovely on the nacelle.
That looks like Industrial Light and Magic, but like with highest budget they could ever get. Like what the hell? And plus the ship, I just love TMP era ships. It's beautiful. I think there isn't going to be any more complete and still futuristic looking Enterprise design from the Enterprise the refit. Connie refit is just perfection.
Who are the three authors that have... No, there's 6 people that have disliked this. Who are those?
I don't see the dislike numbers.
They're just jealous.
but-
They're just
I-
They're
jealous.
jealous we didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason I dislike that is, dang, I want to do that.
Damn, that's too good. It's
Yeah, that's
illegal.
really nicely done. But I wonder how many hours he must have put into doing just that little sequence there.
I've seen him post re-edits with different versions of the effects on Twitter before he actually posted the final. There were a few work in progress shots back there
So
before work in progress number 5, work in progress number 6. So yeah, there were a few.
when I'm doing my
versions of it.
garbage music videos, a 4-minute video is 40 hours of time to get it there, and that's just a blech job of it. So taking my average salary for 40 hours, we're talking about $1,500 just to get 4 minutes of video. That's garbage. This thing is brilliant, but
Yeah.
let's say he spent probably 100 hours, 200 hours on it.
Probably. I
Yeah,
don't know.
so now we're talking average salary there, $31 an hour in the U.S. is $3,100 just for that. And it's probably a lot more than that.
Average time, render time average is the 2 minutes 30 seconds, 6 minutes 30
Well, yeah, that's
seconds.
render time, though. It's the
respectively.
time in building it that takes forever.
That
Yeah,
movie was absolutely insane.
You can check his channel. He's doing Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
He's doing Star Trek stuff. There are shots of.
I posted
recent
another
stuff.
video just to where you can see potential for Star Trek Online.
Where did you post
Because-
it?
Streamcast.
Same channel.
I didn't see it. Hang on.
Remember to watch it in 4K.
Okay. Yes, I'm not
My
seeing it in
monitor
stream
can
chat.
actually do it.
I'm just seeing Chris's.
Is that done in a different engine or something?
Yeah. Look at when they you can scroll through the movie because there is no talking or anything. You can just pick what you want to look at. But if you scroll about halfway in, you can see the dry dock building ships, and it's building each component and connecting the ship. It's oh my god.
Sounds like something we would like to see.
Yeah.
Not that we're ever going to see that in SDO, but still. Oh, yeah. I love that the ship turns, but it doesn't actually tilt too much. I really hate that ship tilts in SDO. Like, we're in space. Ship can turn around without tilting for a fraction of a degree.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they had to pretend that this is a plane. Oh, I like the shield effect.
Mm-hmm.
The shield impact effects are beautiful, and the lighting. Oh god!
Shields are amazing.
And the phasers firing. Oh, I love the scene in Deep Space Nine. I think it's the Tears of the Angels or something like that. Tears of the Prophet. I don't
Tears
remember.
of the
It was one of
Prophets.
the words when they were fighting the Cardassian and Dominion Union with the Alliance, and it's just seeing the Galaxy-class starships just firing upon those ships, firing backwards and forwards, and oh, it makes me tear up. I have tears. And it was done in the 90s budget. Now imagine that being done today. Oh,
Yeah.
with
Well,
today's technology.
today's technology, not today's budgets, because today's budgets gets wasted on other
Today's
stuff.
budgets are even worse than they did in the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, the shield impact effects are so good.
Yeah,
And
it's
not
like
even
oh
that
my
hard
god.
to actually make those actually look right. Oh, I love that on the Defiant class. There is on the aft section of the nacelle, you actually see that it's inside. It's not a flat texture. You actually see inside of it, like it used to. Wow. I mean, truth be told, these models aren't actually that far-fetched detail. They just have proper lighting.
Yeah,
Proper lighting and like post effects applied to it that just make it look a lot better.
Absolutely.
Oh, God,
Would
the
you
shield
gentlemen like to
impacts
play
just-
one more before I have to
Yeah, I need
try
to do
and
some
finish writing this
plasma damage.
review and drinking more coffee? In that order. No, it's going to be drinking more coffee than finishing the review. Let's be honest.
Coffee.
Coffee. Yeah, I need my coffee today.
Coffee.
Anything you want to do, Taz?
I need to do the event.
Oh, perfect. That actually works out beautifully for me. Okay. I assume you guys want Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
because I need space damage.
Chris ain't doing ground stuff.
Not when it's the Arena of Stompback, no.
It just flies by so fast, literally.
Not fast enough.
Weeboo?
Yes.
It is.
Depending on the team. Oh, I just realized my ship still got damaged. Oh well. I'll deal with that. in a
We can
minute.
deal with that.
Yeah. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but Howard Day, that guy has made me tear up so many times. Star Wars combat battle scenes, Star Trek battle scenes. He even has a nice flyby, like semi-intro scene of just Titan flying by, and it's just like just do an opening intro of a series with that. It's beautiful. This thing.
Nice.
Following for quite a while. I'm glad that he actually moved over to Blue Sky because I can still watch what he does.
Hey, what is that?
Blue Sky?
Yeah.
It's
Blue Sky
Twitter
is an
replacement.
alternative to Twitter. It's just better because it has no white supremacists.
Yeah, we're on Blue Sky at the moment, as well as Twitter.
I mean, yeah, I'm still
and
on
people
the
are
old
moving over
place,
there
but
to
I've
some
seen people
extent.
shut down accounts. Yeah.
It's
All
a
the
social.
time.
It's a social media.
It's a social
site.
media, yeah.
I don't use social media.
But you use YouTube, so you can subscribe to him there.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that one. That must be him. Oh, it's 3 days old. Okay. That's why I didn't see it. By the way, I'm cloaked, but you can still see my ship because the cloak for the 32nd century ships is broken still.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't still acknowledged it, so I'm like, yeah, that's fun.
They're aware of it.
Are they?
Yeah. I don't know that they put it in there. We're aware of it officially, but unofficially they're aware of it.
They haven't.
Yeah.
I've been monitoring every single post they've done, and they haven't. So.
Yeah, I was chatting with somebody who's like, yeah, we were talking about it.
I'm glad they're talking about it. They might actually get it resolved at some point.
Might.
My buddy asked me if they fixed the loadout thing because he was interested at some point playing SDO, but he's playing World of Warcraft, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna dive into another MMO at this point. Especially as he plays it religiously. But he was curious whether they've given out anything for free, like was there we are sorry for the inconvenience.
Yeah, I haven't seen a freebie coming out.
No. They just assumed that their freebies are coming for the anniversary or enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I have no idea. They kind of need to do and make good. Because they annoy
Yeah, I
a
mean,
lot
live
of
service
people.
games, World of Warcraft, for a few hours of inconvenience servers being down, they would give away
Star Trek's done that. I mean, they have had
currency.
make goods when there have been big issues.
Yeah, this wasn't a minor thingy. They can't just pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
They kind of act like they want to, but I'm like, no, that's not gonna slide.
Yeah, no.
If they want their bundle to sell, they really have to make good before then.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will be salty and they will not buy the bundle even if they want it.
Oh
Because
yeah, a lot of people are very salty about this.
Yeah. Like, effectively, to a lot of people, the game was completely unplayable. Like, what did they think? It's gonna be...
For people who were serious about
fun.
it, no.
Yeah.
For folks like me who can get by without worrying about a build very much for the little bit I needed to do, it's fine.
I mean, it was fine for me because I've already completed my endeavor, so I didn't really give a fluff. But on the other hand, I still couldn't fly the ships I wanted to because I just couldn't because they were broken. And that's not fun. That just makes me not want to log in on a daily basis, even when there's an event going on.
Well, that's it. If it's not fun, what's the point? And for me, it's all about the fun.
Yeah, and for me, it's all about being able to swap ships to like, oh, I want to fly something Discovery era. I want to find something.
That defines your
the original
version of
series.
fun. You should be able to play it your way.
And I was so proud because when I was doing the Days of Doom, I actually put on the TOS Connie with the blue beam, with the blue phasers, and I held my ground protecting the station all alone. Before they've done all the optional, all the thing, and we did the optional, I was so proud of myself. We protected the station. It's like, yeah, good old Connie, you still got it.
Nice.
Good morning,
Good
Good
Graz.
morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
The usual.
Are you
I
okay?
know that. That's
Well,
what I said when I woke up today.
Yeah, me too.
Kind of got on the calendar of having a cold.
Oh,
Oh, that's the worst.
can you stay home and take care of yourself today?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm pretty sure my eyes woke up before me today.
Oh,
That was kind of frustrating because I woke up and I didn't feel my eyelids open. That was strange.
I was sorely tempted to just go, I need to sleep, which I didn't. My own fault, I was up way too late working on on the review, which I'm going to go back.
There's
and
this
edit.
wonderful invention called Day on Demand that you don't have in the US, but we have it in Poland in labor law. That you have 4 days in the year when you can just call it in, you're not coming, and you won't be judged for
Yep.
it, and you
Yep,
don't have
yep.
to do anything for it. I just love that concept.
There are some
We have
companies
that
that
too.
have an equivalent here, but it's not a universal thing at all.
Yeah, this is guaranteed by law. You have it every year. It renews. There are no conditions to be met. You just have it. And I'm like, yeah, there are days when I just wake up and I'm like, I couldn't be bothered. I'm just like, I'm calling in. I'm not coming in. I don't care. And they're having it's. I know it's just 4 days, but
No,
God,
that's
it's
nice.
sometimes a lifesaver.
Yeah, the mental health issues that people have with
Oh, yeah.
work and life, sometimes you just need that day.
So I'm confidently still having all 4, but you know the sheer notion that I have it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
that's
so
gotta be
good.
delightful.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it is.
Well, I'm gonna get out of here and go do some work, Graz. I hope you feel better.
You
If you check in Stream Chat channel, there is a link to something that Taz put up there for and Chris for Howard Day and Stellar Parallax Studios. Both have some really nice video to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah, just different.
I'd recommend it.
Yep.
I'm just gonna switch to my Akira because I want to see a TMP ship do the same thing as that ship in the clip because it's so beautiful.
It's just ship porn. Enjoy it. For everybody else, have a wonderful
Yes.
day, and we will see you tomorrow. So in the meantime, stay
Moopsy.
moopsome.
Stay moopsome.
Shun the non-believer. Shun.